I suppose after my dramatic proclamation about taking the fight to Advent, you'd expect me to rush off, leading a bombing run on their closest facility. As always, it just wasn't that simple. The closest facility was in New Brazil, and we still hadn't managed to establish a proper contract with the local resistance cell. There were days of preparation to take care of, and I was intent on using them to improve our chances of success. First, our engineering team finished the Proving Grounds facility, essentially a mad scientist's workshop where they could come up with all manner of strange and frightening new weapons. There were a lot of potential projects to choose from, ranging from Tigan's field mobile brain surgery gauntlet to actual walking and talking killer robots. After reviewing my options, I decided we'd start off by making Tigan's designs for a plasma-based grenade a reality. That was the sort of thing we were going to need if we really wanted to make an impression, and maybe take down a few buildings in the process. Then I swung through the research labs to see what else Tigan had come up with. I had asked him to use his imagination, and, well, he'd certainly accomplished that in spades. He had come up with an eclectic mix of 4 different weapons for the troops to use in the field. The frost bomb seemed promising, but I was pretty skeptical about the other, more archaic weapons he proudly presented me with. I think he could sense my disappointment because he immediately began rambling on about stealth fields and energy upgrades. I quickly reassured him that his prototypes were just fine, and pointed him back towards some more practical research. If we were going to keep raiding Advent facilities, then it was important to be able to actually interpret the data we recovered. I told him to focus on finding a way to decrypt any records we managed to capture. Then it was down to the meeting room. The resistance ring, to review the latest reports. Purge Dome and Mr. Shellshock had just gotten back. From the scorched hair and wide grins, I'm pretty sure whatever they did involved blowing something up. The details were scarce, but apparently their mission was a success. With that covert op finished, it was time to move on to another one. Given recent events, the choice seemed obvious. It was time to start hunting down the Warlock as well, before he could slaughter any more of our contacts. I was done taking the Chosen lightly, so I assembled a crack team for this operation. Lieutenant Altex headed up the team, with Sergeant Capesh providing heavy support and John Morgan tagging along to watch their backs. Then it was time to review our latest monthly status report from the spokesman. As usual, he seemed pleased with our progress, but there was no denying that the Avatar project was drawing perilously close to completion. Both Mordena and Dawnslayer were continuing their efforts to undermine our operations, and Advent was continuing to roll out various new operating protocols and training regimens, intended to improve how efficiently their peacekeepers responded to our activities. Time was becoming a precious commodity, so now that the Reapers were offering a bit more tactical support for our operations, I asked them to set up a more efficient means of collecting our monthly supply drops. We had a lot going on these days. We couldn't afford to travel around the countryside shaking down all of our clients in person anymore. With the end-of-month busy work taken care of, we turned our attention back towards establishing a contract with the folks in New Brazil, and they finally got back to us. Like many of our other clients, they were a bit reluctant, but they were desperate enough to get rid of Dawnslayer that they were willing to try anything. Now that we had a new foothold in Brazil, we could mobilize a strike team to attack the Advent facility there whenever we were ready. And we were almost ready. We were going to need our best operatives for this mission, and at least a few of them were unavailable, either recovering from previous battles or occupied with other operations. So instead, I continued to spend some time focusing on our weapons development programs. Lily and her team had just finished upgrading our new power relay, so I decided to dedicate some resources towards Tigan's completely insane psionics lab. Tigan was ecstatic, but he did warn me about some potential side effects, including memory loss, brain damage, and death. But knowing our men, I was pretty sure we'd have at least a few recruits who would be insane enough to volunteer for the experiments. We were ready. It was time to start assembling a team, but as soon as I had gotten to the Situation Room, I was met by Bedos, the revenge-crazed leader of the skirmishers. Apparently, 2 of her operatives had gotten in over their heads back in Africa, and since that was our stomping grounds, she was hoping that we could swoop in and rescue them. It was annoying, given how much I had psyched myself up for this facility raid, but I suppose it was only fair. The skirmishers had provided us with a decent amount of support so far, so I started assembling a rescue team instead. Our men would be headed into a ruined city for this run, and that meant they would be dealing with the Lost. Those shambling things weren't much of a risk, so I decided to let some of the less experienced men handle it. Corporal Michaelum headed up the squad, with Rhino on heavy support and Potato on long-range support. I also assigned Badger and the Beast to the team, to help wrangle the zombies. They seemed well suited for that sort of work. The facility raid would just have to wait. For now, Operation Gasping Whisper required our immediate attention.
One of the resistance factions sent some kind of expeditionary force into an area that we know to be completely overrun by the Lost. Don't ask me what they were doing down there, but now they've gotten themselves stranded, and the resistance is asking for our help. We'll have to do what we can to avoid being overrun. The Resistance expedition is trapped not far from your position, and the VIP is using a remote turret to hold off the Lost. We only have one clear access point to the area, so get to the target's location and escort them back to the entry point for extraction. The whole place is overrun with Lost. Don't bother trying to outgun them. After you secure the expedition, you'll have to return to our original entry point for extraction. Don't get overrun. Keep the path back to Firebrand clear.
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 11 of my ongoing War of the Chosen series. This looks like another new mission type introduced in War of the Chosen. Oh, hold on. Okay, there's our first batch of Lost. I'll admit, I do like the concept of this mission. Having to rescue a VIP before their auto turret runs out of ammunition. The rewards are pretty solid too, another engineer and a high-level grenadier.
Rolling.
I just wish it wasn't a mission where I'm only going to be fighting the Lost. Like I said in the last episode, I just don't find them interesting. So hopefully we'll be able to jam through this mission pretty quickly. And there's some more Lost on our right flank. My guess is that more and more swarms of the Lost will keep appearing every couple of turns. So that's an added incentive to get this mission over with quickly. My plan is to push at least half the squad through this old apartment building. The Rangers will hang back a bit, keeping their flanks clear of the Lost. And then hopefully we can just grab the survivors and book it. With that brute coming in on our right flank, we'll leave a couple of guys behind on Overwatch. Hopefully they can... Oh, come on.
Gods, elevate me.
Well, it's the Edgelord himself. So much for getting this mission done in a timely fashion.
I may strike you down.
Honestly, from what I've seen, the Warlock isn't that tough. The big issue here is that his whole gimmick is summoning more enemies onto the battlefield. And we're already running a mission where the gimmick is summoning more enemies onto the battlefield. So unfortunately, I do get the feeling that this is going to become a slog as I fight through wave after wave after wave of enemies. Though I am hoping that the Lost might actually attack the Chosen. That might make things easier. I'm also a bit curious about how the Chosen will interact with the VIP and his auto-sentry. Will the auto-sentry attack the Warlock? Will the Warlock attack the VIP? I guess I'll have to wait and find out. If it turns out the Warlock can kill the VIP, then this might be a very short mission. Unfortunately, the biggest drawback to this new development is that I can't afford to split up my squad like I was originally planning to. Once we get within visual range of the Warlock, I need my whole squad there to gang up on him and take him out as quickly as possible. So we're going to need to move forward as a single cohesive squad.
Target down.
Okay, the Beast just missed a relatively easy shot. That means we're going to have to hang back for a moment so he can keep up with us.
Rolling out.
Let's see if we can clear the rest of these Lost, and then we'll regroup next turn.
Hitting them now. Got it covered. Adjusting aim. Me muevo a la posición. Blanco abatido. Abatido.
I stand alone, fearing no one. Come forth and
And here come the exploding zombies. Huh. I'll admit, I wasn't expecting the Lost to go up that way.
Enemigo eliminado.
my power will wash over the battlefield.
Okay, first things first, potato, if you would. Thank you. Okay, now let's see about securing the balcony, and we can block off the ladder access.
Moving to designated position.
And there's yet another swarm, though that's no big deal once we block the ladder. There's the spectral zombies, too. Well, let's take out the Lost on the balcony first. Then we'll take out those exploding zombies.
Target disabled.
Killing the spectral zombie will end Rhino's turn, so I'm kind of tempted to take out another Lost before I do that. But I guess I shouldn't tempt fate. There's still a 10% chance I might end up missing. Then his turn would be over anyway. Alright, let's bring Potato up. He can block off the ladder, and maybe he'll even be able to do a little damage with his pistol. Well, that's one less Lost we'll have to deal with.
Come get some.
Okay, let's get the rest of the squad up to the second floor, reload our guns as necessary. Then we'll regroup and spend a turn or two clearing the streets before we start moving forward again.
Affirmative.
Okay, well, I obviously just accidentally moved the Beast on the ground level. That, I don't think that's going to be an immediate problem. I can fix that. No big deal. Okay, so the spectral zombie advanced on him, and now it's primed to explode. But that gives me plenty of time to just walk away from it. And now the Lost are rushing towards him, but they can't reach him this turn.
The Elder's judgment is nearly upon you.
let's start by clearing out some of the lost.
Enemy down.
Now, I'd like to move the beast up with everyone else, but obviously I have Potato blocking the only access point. I think it might be a better bet to have him fall back a little bit and then blow up the spectral zombie. Keep him just out of the reach of the lost in case I can't kill them all this turn. That takes care of the spectral zombie and most of that wall. Now Rhino should have no trouble taking out the rest of these zombies. At least, in theory. It all comes down to the RNG. I will say, while I don't really enjoy fighting the Lost, at least they're an easy source of experience points and ability points. So, as obnoxious as this mission is, as long as we all get out of it alive, we should have a lot of promotions to play with. I decided to move Potato over. His pistol never needs to be reloaded, so he's ideal for taking out those weaker Chosen. As long as he can keep landing hits, it's instant kills and it doesn't take him any actions. Sharpshooters are basically made for this kind of scenario. Though I do need to make sure I block off the ladder access again. That way, any enemies who want to get up here with us will have to take the long way around.
Let's rock! Enemy eliminated.
The others may be gone, but you have yet to face your greatest challenger.
Afirmativo.
Okay, now we've got another Lost Swarm coming from the right side. And we've only got 2 more turns to get down there and rescue the VIP.
Come on, focus! The expedition has limited ammo reserves. If that turret runs out, the Lost are going to make quick work of them. We need to reach the group before that happens.
I cannot hide for long. My power precedes me wherever I go.
Always nice to be forced to listen to 20 seconds of unskippable dialogue. Back to clearing out these Lost. This pack of Lost are just far enough away that I can't really reliably hit them. I'm tempted to just take them all out with a grenade, but I'm worried that might just attract more Lost. Once we've got enough of them taken care of, we'll risk running one of our Rangers down there to see if we can activate the VIP and pull him away from the Warlock. I guess for now we'll just keep shooting these guys down the old-fashioned way. We've still got 2 turns to play with.
Muerto. Blanco eliminado. Baja confirmada. Se me está acabando la munición. Kill confirmed. Got him.
And that actually pretty efficiently takes out the Lost. We've just got 1 or 2 stragglers still kicking around. Unless another swarm shows up, I think we're about ready to start moving up again. Oh shoot, don't explode, don't explode. Ooh, okay. Guess they have to charge themselves up for that first. Well, that wasn't so bad. The Warlock summoned up a couple of spectral zombies who took them both down. There's just 1 Lost left on the field.
You're almost out of ammo for the turret, Commander. We have to get moving.
I think we're going to risk having the Beast run up and activate the VIP. Then we'll pull the VIP out of there. But we're going to start moving the rest of the squad up into positions where they can take on the Warlock. Might as well stick around long enough to gun him down. That's good for 5 ability points. We know he's over there somewhere, so he's going to activate properly once we actually move the Beast up. So we don't want to move the bulk of our team up into his line of sight just yet. I think we'll gather up on this overpass, reload our guns, and then next turn we'll move up and start taking shots at him from elevation.
Position confirmed. Stepping off.
You have trespassed where no human was meant to tread. Now, having seen with your own eyes the miracle of Advent's creation.
We've spotted the Chosen. Get ready to fight. The VIP is secure, Commander. If we can spare the manpower, we should try to bring the escort in as well. Without the VIP manning the turret controls, there's nothing keeping the Lost from overrunning this area. They're already closing in.
I'm guessing that's code for now we have to deal with Lost reinforcements every turn. I'd like to stick around long enough to take out the Warlock, but we're going to have to play this one by ear. If we have to pull out early, then we'll pull out early.
Shot failed to connect.
In the meantime, let's go ahead and start sprinting the VIP back towards the evacuation zone. Okay, knowing that the Lost are showing up at an accelerated rate, let's move things along a little faster here. Fortunately, Dawnslayer has a unique weakness that makes him easier to hit from elevation, so I'm hoping we can drop him in 2, maybe 3 turns. Then, if the opportunity presents itself, we'll grab that second VIP and cart him back to the evac zone as well.
Let's do this.
Come, minions, serve me as you would the elders.
Okay, we've got a priest on the field. That's a little annoying. And he's teleporting him into a flanking position.
You will feel my vision. I must atone for this misstep.
He hit us with a psychic power there too, but fortunately 3 of our 5 squaddies are using mind shields. Though I can't help but notice he didn't take any damage from our feedback ability that we get from our Templar allies. It looks like the Lost are ignoring the Chosen, but they aren't ignoring that priest, so that does help us a little bit.
Firebrand is in position. Get back to the entry point for extraction before you get overrun. We're picking up more heat signatures than the sensors can keep up with.
Alright, it looks like we do indeed have some pretty solid hit chances from up here on the overpass. Let's line our guys up and gun that guy down. Though I should do something about that priest. I don't want to leave him in an elevated position, and since we know the Lost won't ignore the Warlock summons, let's go ahead and risk taking out that guy's floor with a grenade.
Grenade out!
Well, it did attract more Lost, but I think that's the priest's problem. Just to be on the safe side, let's go ahead and toss a shield up on Rhino. And then Michaelum can use his second action to take a shot. That was a nice solid hit. Let's just keep pouring it on.
Moving to designated position.
Very nice.
Your time will come soon enough.
Pretty cocky there for a guy who's only got 5 hit points left. Okay, if we can just land one more hit on this guy, we'll knock him off the map. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any way to move Potato and still get off a shot with his pistol, so I think it's all going to come down to the beast.
Okay. Overwatch.
Except he doesn't have line of sight either. That's disappointing. I really could have planned that out better.
Those without faith will perish.
Huh. Well, that's new. It looks like he's summoned some kind of spectral stun lancers. That could definitely be a problem. Especially if we keep missing them.
Miss the target.
They move in an aimless place, without purpose or insight. You humans should be grateful. You will die, still aware of your own existence.
We're starting to face more and more Lost, at least some of whom are ignoring the Advent forces and heading right for us instead. Okay, well, I'm hoping that if I take out the Warlock, the 2 Spectral Lancers will disappear with him. But first we need to clear these Lost off our flank.
Back in. Kill confirmed.
Right, the beast doesn't have line of sight to the warlock. I guess he can go ahead and take out one of the lancers then. Nice.
It's down. The loss of these subordinates is as meaningless to me as it is to you.
Okay, unfortunately it appears that we can't actually target the warlock. I'm guessing that's part of his spectral army ability. I guess we have to take out that other ghost lancer before we can finish off the warlock. Well, I guess we'll just keep shooting then.
Target disabled. Hostile neutralized. Reloaded. Scanning.
Definitely not a great chance to hit, but we don't really have much choice. No luck with the first shot. Let's try it again. Oof, still no luck. Well, we've got one more shot at it. We're basically flipping a coin 3 times in a row and hoping to get heads at least once. There we go.
Target down.
And it did indeed dispel his force field. Unfortunately, we're out of action, so we can't really take advantage of it just yet. Ha! And I guess that priest is understandably distracted by the oncoming hordes.
These wretched beings are perhaps even more pathetic now than they were before this pestilence afflicted them.
Target's still up.
Oh hey, some of the Lost are actually swarming on the Chosen now.
We have a soldier down. Get them back on their feet on the double.
Okay, Michaelum is dazed, no big deal. I can fix that easy enough.
I had wondered if you would risk coming to save your ally. How courageous of you.
Oh, shut up. I've had just about enough of you, Dawnslayer. And good riddance.
Weapons burning ammo.
When your people are wiped clean from this world, these trivial defeats I have suffered in your hands will be all but forgotten by the elders.
I'm sure we'll see them again, but that Chosen sure wasn't expecting the fight we put up today, Commander.
Okay, we've got the Warlock off the field, but we are facing a steadily growing number of Lost. But that doesn't change our plan. We're going to keep picking these guys off as efficiently as we can. We're going to grab that VIP, and we're going to book it back to the evac zone.
Still moving. Rock and roll. Enemies down. Good. Ready to rock.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get the engineer out of here.
The VIP safely on board.
Now let's see if we can pick off that priest before he does anything stupid. Honestly, I'm amazed that guy's still alive at this point. Well, the feedback should have killed that guy, but apparently he got one chance to put himself in suspension instead, so he's still alive. I've got to be honest here, I'm getting pretty tempted to just bail out, but I really would like to grab that other recruit before we leave.
Menace 1-5, keep pushing towards the evac point. No matter what you do, you're never gonna make a dent in the Lost. There's just too many coming in. Ready to walk.
I'll give it one, maybe two more turns. Let's just see if we can clear enough of these guys off of us to let the beast run down there and scoop up the VIP.
Target neutralized. No rounds. Ready to engage.
Though, like I said before, we are racking up a lot of ability points.
Target neutralized on reserves. It's down. Got no ammo. Rock and roll.
Alright, Beast, here's your chance.
Good copy. Moving on target. Up and over. Understood.
Now I do need to clear this one other Lost out, so let's bring Badger down to take care of him.
Position confirmed. Ya estoy.
Alright, things are actually looking pretty good here.
Enemy eliminated.
Let's go ahead and finish the round, and next turn we'll start pulling back.
On Overwatch. On Overwatch. I might need some help.
Just had to sneak in that last-minute lucky shot, didn't you? Now I've really got no choice but to stick around just long enough to kill that guy.
Ya no es una amenaza.
Never mind, guess they took care of it for me. And of course he dropped loot. I'd love to pick that up, I just don't think it's practical, so I'll give it one more turn. If we can clear out that building and sneak someone in there to grab the loot, we'll go for it. Otherwise, it's time to go.
Enemy down. Not even close. No need to ask twice. Got it, moving.
We'll go ahead and start bringing Steve up. Maybe he'll be able to snake the loot next turn. Oh, right. Let's go ahead and burn off a charge of Gremlin heal while we're at it. Keep him in fighting shape.
I'm on it. Explorando. Missed the target.
Okay, never mind. This isn't happening. The spawn is right next to the loot drop, so there's no way we're going to be able to get over there.
Enemigo abatido.
Take out the Dasher and... Marines, we are leaving! No time to reload, just keep running.
Will do! Enemy destroyed! Negative ammo! I'm spent! Solid copy. On the move! Running! Ya estoy!
Goodbye, loot. And we'll just keep pulling back. Now we can get the other VIP out of here.
Good to go!
And we'll take a quick moment to take out this other Dasher. And back to running.
Necesito un poco de munición. Corriendo. Go, go, go. Let's go. We've extracted the VIP's escort. Once we get him patched up, he should be ready to rejoin the fight. Running. We have to get clear of this area, Commander. The Lost are pouring in faster than we can keep up with. There's no point in trying to fight them.
Trust me, Bradford, I get the idea. We're pulling out.
No need to ask twice. Queda claro. Rolling out.
And of course we've got that one guy who can't quite make it, so we're stuck here for one more turn.
Firebrand is in position. Get back to the entry point for extraction before you get overrun. We're picking up more heat signatures than the sensors can keep up with.
All XCOM operatives are secure. Firebrand is returning to base.
We successfully rescued the expedition, Commander. The Resistance will be happy to hear it.
Ridiculous. Well, I really was hoping to finish that mission in a timely fashion, but now I guess it's pretty much the whole episode. Sorry, guys. I guess we'll have to hit the facility next time.
According to Advent officials, recent attacks by dissident elements operating outside of the city centers have done little to slow the progress of Advent's ongoing development or outreach programs. Voluntary citizen emigration numbers are reportedly at their highest level in recent years.
Just goes to show that the Chosen are vulnerable and we can take them down. We just have to figure out how to keep them down.
Michael will grab Revival Protocol. Rhino will grab Shredder. Badger picks up Shadow Step. The Beast picks up Shadow Step as well. And Potato picks up Lightning Hands. Operation Gasping Whisper had been another rousing success. Sure, Badger had taken a few plasma rounds through the torso, but it was nothing life-threatening. Some of the men down in the barracks were already jokingly calling him the Steel Badger. Betos was happy with our success, of course, and even happier to learn that we had wiped the floor with Dawnslayer. She immediately rewarded our efforts with a hefty stash of new intel she had dug up, and she ordered the 2 operatives we had rescued to join our ranks. I immediately put Dr. Azim to work with the rest of our engineering team. Then I ordered the other operative down to the barracks. I didn't quite catch his name, but he seemed pretty capable. I'll have to check on him later, maybe get to know him a bit better. With our latest operation out of the way, we continued our final preparations for the raid on that Advent facility. Our engineers finished manufacturing our new, wildly unstable plasma grenades, which were promptly distributed to our soldiers. And once that was done, I told them to start working on building a prototype of that horrible brain blender that Tygan kept cheerfully reminding me about. Altex also returned shortly afterwards. Apparently Dawnslayer had been so preoccupied trying to ambush our men back in Africa that he had completely overlooked our covert ops team, and they had handily located his hideout in New Brazil. But unfortunately it was sealed up tight, so we'd have to do a little more recon work before we could finally take him out for good. I decided to delay our assault by a few more days so that Tygan could finish his latest research project. I quickly ordered Demon and Squatty Morgan to head out on another covert mission, this time to slow down Advent's progress until we could hit that facility. I even provided them with some extra supplies just to make sure things went smoothly. Soon Tygan finished analyzing all of the alien encryptions we had recovered, but unfortunately his research left a bit to be desired. Apparently, the encryptions were so complex that he was going to need another specialized facility to properly decipher it all. I wasn't ready to commit another stack of resources to a project I wasn't sure would get results, so I told Tygan to switch tracks and start researching those strange alien crystals instead. We were going to end up with a lot of those if we started raiding Advent facilities, so it was probably in our best interest to figure out what we could actually do with them. And that was it. It was time to hit that facility in New Brazil. There was no point in delaying it any longer. Bradford seemed particularly gleeful about the whole thing. He was fairly certain that once we had wiped out an entire Advent facility, we'd have resistance groups all over the world lining up and begging us for an alliance. It was a good point. I ordered the engineering team to go ahead and upgrade our communications rig to handle all of those new contacts, then ordered the Grey Shirts to set a course for that research facility. Now it was time to officially begin our war on the Advent Authority.